Cricket is not just a game, it's strategy and sweat, rhythm and resolve. It's 22 yards that hold the weight of nations. Cricket is early mornings and long shadows. It is silence before the roar. Hope before the first ball is bowled. Cricket is the sound of futures echoing from dusty corners of the country, asking, what if? Cricket is risk.
What a catch! One for the tournament.
What a catch that is!
It's building before you know. It's planting grass on borrowed land and daring it to grow. Cricket is collaboration, teamwork, dreams built on grit, on grace. Cricket is this, a field, a vision, a home for the game, and a stage for the world, where the dreams of a small nation rise tall, with the hope and belief that if they built it, the world will come to play.
The story of the now F&B NCG, it's such an amazing journey, and it started quite a number of years ago. We had a new board. We, at that stage, had a company that was really struggling. We identified it from the start that infrastructure is one of our most critical elements that we don't have in the country. It's a shortage of infrastructure, not just at international level, but also at schools and clubs. And that path paved the way for us to really look at future development.
As a board, we realized that we had to make cricket professional in Namibia. It was what we wrote into our vision as well, being a professional sport, being an inclusive sport, being the sport of choice for Namibians. To be globally competitive, we had to be professional, both with our men's team and our women's team. And as a board, we realized that the shareholders of cricket in Namibia is the public, the Namibian citizens, and our responsibilities towards those shareholders.
It started as a dream. When we came together as a board, plus 7 years ago, the dream was to make cricket accessible to everybody in Namibia. And then also just to provide the platform for players to not only travel, but also host big international teams. And we looked at it and thought facilities is the one way to go if you want to house top-class international teams. 3 consecutive World Cups we've played in. People started knowing more about Namibia.
So as a board, we keep talking about how the dots connected. And we today still recognize these dots for what they are. Having been against the ropes on and off the field in 2018, the first dot was our qualification for ODI status again in 2019. That was followed by the qualification for 3 T20 World Cups. Our culture and structure had to be fixed. We got recognition, global recognition for our processes, our compliance, our governance structures, our broadcasting capabilities, and the commercialization of our digital rights was a very important dot, and that was followed by sponsors. Our corporate sponsors came on board, and we, through all of this, had one dream, and that was a national home of cricket.
We were very ambitious. In August 2020, we started with the first groundworks on this facility. This was open field, and ambitious for the reason that the ground didn't belong to us. It was owned by City of Windhoek, and but it was zoned for sport, and it was a cricket field in the 1990s. It was used as an international facility, so we just assumed that we can develop it and we can make progress on it. At that stage, they zoned this area for a craft market. They wanted to develop the bottom section of it for a tourist attraction, and one of the big plans was to move the wood carvers into this area. And it was, I cannot tell you the number of meetings that we attended on possible solutions on how to join the two. And that started a wonderful journey with City of Windhoek. That was a 2-year process of back and fro. We received the bid to host the World Cup in November 2021, which means at that stage we didn't have a field yet. So we accepted to host. We put all the documents in with Cricket South Africa, knowing that at that stage we only had Wanderers and United as our 2 club venues, but we didn't have an international venue. And that's why I say we use the term of ambitious quite a lot, and we never really let any obstacles prevent that. We continuously moved forward with that mindset, and that 2-year journey was interrupted with quite a number of elements.
When you want to achieve big things, there's always going to be obstacles. At some point, I remember we started doing groundwork on the field right behind me, and I think a month or 2 later, the City of Windhoek stopped us and said, no, we can't do anything. We always wanted a facility, and not just any facility, a top-class facility. And we've created that with a lot of people who have the same vision, a lot of people who believe in moving in one direction, and that is the reason why we're so successful.
From August 2022, we only received our lease agreement in July 2023. So that was almost another year past. We received the bid to host the Under-19 World Cup as well. Now remember, we still didn't have a field, we still didn't have a lease agreement, we still didn't have anything in place. And here we're accepting terms for hosting a second World Cup, and that was in 2026, which even moved the timelines closer. And I think that's something that we need to bear in mind, is to develop a cricket field doesn't take a year. It takes at least 18 months to 2 years for everything to settle. And there we just moved up the timelines, and we still didn't have a field. And it was very clear from the start, even though we've got this ambition of hosting 2 World Cups, we've got all this happening and coming to Namibia, we kept a neutral view on it all the time and said that we can only build what we can afford. And that was critical in our time mindset.
They thought not just about a field, but about a sports business hub that would sustain Namibian cricket beyond tournaments. Offices, gyms, indoor facilities, spaces that worked on match day, but worked even harder the rest of the year.
I think, to put it in perspective, I think it's perfectly scaled for Namibia and for Windhoek and what we need. And it's done on international standards. But I think, again, what makes it special is that it's more than a stadium. It's activity, center and hub with these 2 commercial corners that was brought in. And I think that differentiates it from other normal stadiums where you travel and you go past it and you see it's on midweek and it's closed up. There's nothing happening there. I think that's what's special about the stadium, and I think that's why it's going to work.
It's a very public building, so they're very concerned about making it as feasible and functional as possible. So it can be a stadium for World Cup match days, but it's also a commercially viable building. So there's a lot of multi-functionality with these buildings. It started off looking completely different to this. It was the input from the board and Johan and that made it become this. And I think they loved that form, and then that form influenced all the other forms.
But what would hosting a World Cup actually cost? Besides the buildings, besides everything else? And that was quite difficult to determine. We, from the onset, had the mindset of, we can only do this once, we need to do it right. So we benchmarked, we consulted, we visited 11 different international stadiums, most of them on match day, to understand functionality of how people need to move around, building sizes, room sizes, what needs to be where in a stadium. We were in Dubai, in India, just to understand what makes their stadiums work and what is challenges within their stadiums. We even sent our architect and quite a number of our staff to the Women's World Cup in 2024 in January, so that they can understand from a design perspective and functionality perspective how it works. Remember, no one else has built a national cricket stadium in Namibia ever. So there's no knowledge, there's no criteria.
They began without ownership, without certainty. They knew the timelines to grow grass was limited, and they knew the rain doesn't wait for bureaucracy. They couldn't afford to lose a season, So they started working without a lease in hand. That's how much they believed in this.
So we only signed the lease in February 2024. Now, bearing in mind that's 2 years from your Under-19 World Cup, the weather, the drought situation in Namibia, you only get 4 months of growth period with some water. We knew from the start that we will get the land. We don't have a lease yet. We had to develop the infrastructure. We had to develop the earth moving, the leveling, the irrigation. We moved bully from our bully plant in Grootfontein. We prepared everything so that the day that we signed that lease, that we can move ahead. But January came in 2024. Summer was there, the rain came, and we had to make a decision. So we went bold again, and we seeded this field behind me on the 18th of January 2024. $200,000 that we put in just in seeds to get that right, and we planted the pitch directly after that. So now we still don't have a lease. We're putting all this capital that we put away so cautiously for so many years into this entire project, and we've got no security. And February, when that lease was signed, that was absolutely a sigh of relief. I remember the board met under this tree actually quite a number of times where we dreamt about that day, and finally we could now really move the project forward.
We as a board with Johan sat here under this tree, and it was late afternoon and the sun was setting over the Awas Mountains, and we looked at this barren piece of land and we said to ourselves, imagine this is our ground. This is where we're going to play. Imagine we're playing South Africa here. Imagine the braai around the ground and the smoke from the fires just hanging over the ground like Namibians do. And that picture was so clear to us, and it really excited us, and it just created passion in us. And Vision 2027 was crafted that day, the building of the NCG.
This was never a solo innings. It was a project forged in partnership with every player knowing their role. Engineers, builders, painters, architects, planners, laborers. From the first sketch on paper to the final blade of grass. This ground is a testament to those who believed and those who built.
I played for Namibia for a long time, and this was always one of the places where we came over weekends where my parents played cricket. So this area is very sentimental to me in that sense that we've got a beautiful stadium at the current moment. There was never a national stadium in Namibia. All national games were played at Wanderers, or whenever you toured, you played on other fields. I hope this will inspire young players to say, well, I want to play on this field one day. One day when I play in the national team, I'm going to play in the NCGs. It's been a long process, and what you see here is not what was on the original drawings. On the original drawings, you saw that main building and a small little building on this side. What we have now, we've got an indoor center, we've got a massive gym here with cloakrooms on the sides. We've got a corporate corner on that side. We've got another corporate corner on this side. There's so many things to mention. In the beginning, it was 2 buildings. And that evolved into something amazing, what we have here at the current moment.
We know we had to be done by August, September 2025 to at least have a functional stadium before January 2026 when we host the World Cup. So we only had a 14-month building period.
We were one step away from this dream, and that was we had to ask the ICC to provide us our hosting fees in advance. They, this time around, were asked not to trust us with processes, but with capital. And when that answer came, an out of the ordinary yes, we knew our dream was about to come true.
So still in this building process, at that stage, the costing just for our gym and our main building was 53 million. We'd receive about 40 million from ICC from a hosting grant perspective. So we still needed some money. We had 5 million put away in our infrastructure fund, of which a lot of that went for the pitches and the field irrigation, etc. And this is where the Namibian corporate community must be complimented. We went to the market to see if we can attract stadium partners. So it was a concept we designed from the principle that people wanted to be involved in this venture. It was new. It was hardly ever that something like this came by. And we approached a lot of corporates from the principle of not providing cash, but providing material in exchange to become a stadium partner, which will have certain benefits from exposure, but also a UT's perspective. And we secured quite a lot of our building material through this process, which reduced our building cost. So that then became the third revenue stream. So first of all, our savings, secondly, ICC, then stadium partners became a revenue stream or saving in our expense, however you want to look at it. And then we went to the market and we signed F&B as a cash value sponsorship, as the naming rights to the which is now the F&B NCG. And I really must compliment every single business that raised their hands and put their hands up to be part of this amazing journey.
The dream that's at hand here is about much more than just a cricket stadium, much more than just playing a couple of games. It's about changing the competitive posture of Namibia, and not just of Cricket Namibia, which is something that's very close to our heart as well, to build a more globally competitive Namibia. And in that process, you don't just compete for wins or runs, you compete for major international events. And it's a good natural fit for us. It's a good natural fit for where Namibia is, and we're very excited about this future journey.
We want everybody in Namibia to want to play cricket. Every child, every player to want to play cricket. It's part of Cricket Namibia's vision to be inclusive, to be the sport of choice in Namibia. So every child from Oranjemund to Katima, that's our vision. We want children to see, this is a future for me, this is an opportunity for me, this could be a career for me. To achieve that vision, we have to put the structures in place, and our Quota development program is producing the fruits now. And they've worked incredibly hard to get those children, to find those children, those real athletes, and bring them into this system. So we're very proud of that development system, and Johan has done a great job with it.
And it just led into an unbelievable process of building a world-class structure that is Namibianized. From the onset, we said this is for Namibia, by Namibians. We didn't attract any consultants from outside of Namibia. We rather build capacity, we rather send people on training. So for us, this was an upskilling project. It was a training project on how do we train ground staff. Namibia didn't have ground staff. Wanderers had a good groundsman, and we had Gerson, who worked for us in the national nets and at United. But we had to train ground staff in this process. We sent them to the SA20. They worked with the ground staff of Newlands for 2 days. And it was fantastic to see how these guys came back excited to convert what you see behind us into this world-class facility.
The NCG and also the HP Oval, I think it represents the realization of many dreams. For many years, we've been hosting major matches on club grounds, never had our own property. And I think it's just a culmination of lots of input and lots of dreams. And then the current board and the executive took action and made this dream come true. So we've just put it out there that Namibia cricket will never look back again. We're globally competitive. Obviously on the field all the years have punched above our weight, but also off the field we've now managed to accomplish that. And I think it will send the message out there to other countries in Africa and also all over the world that associates don't need to be seen as second-class citizens, but that they can really, if there's a dream and there's enough effort behind that dream, it can become true.
What this does is it elevates Namibia as a country. It again brings us to the world map. It shows that when there's a will, there's a way. So of course, Cricket Namibia has been doing fantastic work over the years, but I think this final product is testament to all the effort. And now we sit here at a world-class stadium, all thanks to Cricket Namibia. So I think investing in sport in itself is investing in young people. When we talk of any developing country, we talk about how do we empower the youth. But most young people, which is more than 70% of our country, this is the unifier, it's sport. I think it inspires young people. It gets them interested in the game. So to have world-class facilities, it gets the youth and somehow gets them involved. This is up there with the very best of them. It's the hope of government and of the country and of sport that we see more and more sort of shoots of activity because of this infrastructure. So I hope it's not only the the Eagles, our men and women's national teams, but even an under-10 team to have an opportunity to come and play here. I think that's what we want to see, and I'm almost certain that will happen. So as the government, we're really proud of the efforts of Cricket Namibia. It's a great leadership, and with anything, when the leadership works, everything cascades.
The dream has come alive. I get very emotional when I speak about it. The NCG was created not only by us as board members, it was created by the staff of Cricket Namibia. It was created by the players who have put us on the world map.
Just watching the kids, the young girls and boys being trained on these grounds and also out in our development programs, just watching the faces of our young kids where there is joy, but there's meaning, there's belonging. It's not about cricket anymore. It becomes the building of characters. It becomes the building of leaders. Just watching these kids is so heartening, because we know it's more than cricket. It's actually nation building at work.
The stadium is a legacy project. It's the legacy of many people over many years, from Laurie Peters, Francois Erasmus, Richard Frankel, all the people involved in cricket over many, many years. This legacy project is their work, and it just compounds now. You get to do a project like this once in your lifetime, and I feel incredibly humbled, and I have a lot of gratitude for being involved in this.
So this entire journey of just getting the land, getting the process to actually start, and then to make sure that you do it with responsibility, you do it to the best that you can, and you build the capacity of Namibians all the way through it. It was just a fantastic journey.
It's quite obvious that the story of Cricket Namibia was not the work of man. The dots were connected by a bigger hand. We've been blessed in abundance. We've received favor over and over again. And for that we are most grateful, and for those blessings we've received. I can't help but visualize this address being a platform to continue to bless people coming through our gates, whether it's watching world-class competitive cricket and having joy, or whether it may be a vulnerable day. May this address, the NCG, be a safe shelter of peace and reflection, but also a national beacon of hope and healing.
It's about building in times of uncertainty, trusting that the future will meet you halfway. And behind it all, a conviction that this game, this ground, can inspire a nation. A home, not just for the game, but for every Namibian who ever believed this country could stand amongst giants.
He's gonna run. Be aware.